Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and we're doing another Swiss Magic Origins draft. Okay, we open Al Hameret, who's good. I don't like first picking 7 drops too much in this format, so I'm looking at Anointer, Freeblade, which kind of sucks because they're both really good white cards. I think Anointer's likely better than Freeblade, actually, but I mean, maybe they're even equal. They're both really good. I think Anointer actually is better than Freeblade. But there's just nothing else really too close to them. I'm always a fan of Visionary, but it's just not up to snuff with them. So I think we have to take a really powerful white card and pass a really powerful white card, which kind of sucks, but I think we're going to do it. Yeah, I do legitimately think Anointer's better than Freeblade. I mean, there is a Leaf Gilder too, which is probably actually a better pick than Visionary. But no, I mean, these are just the two strongest, so let's take Anointer and be okay with it. All right, past a Freeblade. Well, that's nice. We can start cutting white now. Otherwise, there's a Claustrophobia in here, which is also good, but I think it's pretty easy Freeblade, actually. All right, so now it's probably just Sommerwald Alpha is a really strong card. Gearcrafter's good, too. I think Alpha is probably better, especially with Renown and with Anointer. So I think we're just going to slam an Alpha here. Green-White Beats is a great archetype anyway, so let's see if can't make that work. All right, well, there's Jesse and Thief, but I think we're just going to slam a Stalwart Aven, which I do like more than Celestial Flare most of the time. Yeah, I think Aven's better than Flare. Flare's good, though. I wouldn't mind having it, of course, but we're just going to take a Stalwart Aven, stay on this white path. I've been able to make white work a lot more often than I was 15, 20 drafts ago. So it's, I don't know what that means exactly. Maybe it's just people are like afraid of the competition in white, or I don't know. They're just not as interested in it as they used to be. But I mean, we have a great start going here. Rogue's Passage is pretty tempting here, to be honest, but there's also Force Mage and Empath, both of which I like. I think I'm actually going to take the Passage here. After getting destroyed by it the other draft, and just how good it is with Renown, I probably just want it. Usually you end up with enough playables in this format. I really wouldn't mind a Force Mage or an Empath, but I'm going to take the Passage. All right, Blessed Spirits, Griffin, and Flare. I would take Spirits over Griffin. I might just take Flare here, but Spirits is good too. I probably want the Flare. That's tough though. I mean, this evades, and if I end up with like suppression bonds, there's not a lot of green enchantments. If I end up in green, I mean, I might just as well not end up in green. Yeah, those are both really solid picks. You get the evader that potentially grows, or the removal. I think I'm actually going to take the removal. Problem is, Flare is not very good when you're against a token-heavy deck, but I mean, it's a removal spell. It seems like a 5th pick removal spell could be helpful. That's tough though. Blessed Spirits would be a really welcome addition to this deck as well. All right, I'll slam a Grasp with a Hieromancer. It's really good with all of our creatures at this point. Not really giving up anything I care about too much, so okay. Guess Grasp would be a better follow-up after a Blessed Spirits, but no problem. Let's take a Majoring Bully. If I end up in red, I could see myself playing that. All right, Mighty Leap. Probably a little more interested in that than Active Treason. And although Active Treason is probably pretty good with Renown, I'll still take the Leap. Leap's very good with Renown as well, and it's just a combat trick in case you need it. All right, none of these cards are very good. I think I would still prefer to play green than red, just based on the fact that my green card's more powerful than my red, but I'm not going to play Elemental Bond. I'm just going to cut the green card from there. All right, I guess I'll take a Recluse. I don't love it, but otherwise it's a sideboard Enlightened Ascetic. I'll continue to cut green. Stratus Walk is the best card remaining there, but doesn't seem likely we're going to end up in that. I guess I could end up playing Tactics. Regardless, I'll cut white. Sure. Prism Ring. I've not played this one. All right. Great start. Very good white base. Feels as though we've carved our way into white effectively. Still trying to figure out that second color. Wow. Well, there it is. Mana Gorger Hydra is an awesome card, so we'll slam dunk pick that. And at this point, let's just commit to green, whether it's a supplement color or not. Hydra is exactly what any green deck wants, so easy first pick there. Okay, so options now, just Blessed Spirits, Dwynen's Elite. I think it's, well, I mean, I guess there's Force Mage too, but Blessed Spirits is just legitimately good. Plus we have a Grasp already. Could find some more, possibly. But it evades, it possibly grows. At worst, it's a 3-mana 2/2 flyer, which I think is fine in this format anyway. Passing a Cleric of the Forward Order and a Dwynen's Elite and a Force Mage, all of which would be fine for this deck as well, but I actually like Blessed Spirits. Okay, so choices now are, I mean, we have plenty of them. Enshrouding Mist, very good with the Renown. Swift Reckoning is very good. Problem with it, we look like a really offensive deck. So when you're playing a really offensive deck, Swift Reckoning gets a lot worse because you're basically, you can't use it offensively. You can only use Swift Reckoning defensively. Actually, I guess that's not true. Someone in the comments mentioned how well it works with Grasp with a Hieromancer, and I guess that's true, actually. But, I mean, Swift Reckoning is certainly the best card on color remaining in this pack for us. Like, I like Enshrouding Mist, Knight, Timberpack Wolf, Gorger, but it's probably just got to be the Reckoning. But like I said, besides the Grasp synergy, it's not the best card when you're trying to be highly offensive. Like, there's a decent argument for Enshrouding Mist just because it's so much more, it's so much better when you're just trying to keep attacking. But I think we'll take the Swift Reckoning anyway. Okay, Angel's Tomb is actually a pretty decent consideration here. Otherwise, Vastwood Gorger, but I don't mind keeping the curve down. Angel's Tomb is actually a fine card, too. Not incredible, but if we're playing Beatdown, I kind of like it, and it evades. Although, yeah, it's really just between, like, Angel's Tomb and Gorger, so I think we'll take the Tomb. I've played it before. I like it. Foundry. Yeah, Foundry's pretty good. I mean, we already have a Rogue's Passage, but we don't look super color-intensive in green at all. So it seems like it's a fine pick for us. Okay. Messenger, which currently finds nothing. Caterpillar and Ascetic. Probably, I guess, the Caterpillar is a better sideboard card than the Ascetic. Just because it hits more things. Alright. Taking a sideboard card, I guess. Let's make... Do I want to make another pile here? Oh, Tactician, yeah. Tactician's something this deck's looking for, so let's slam it. Okay, Oromancer to bring back Grasp. I mean, it's the only on-color card for us anyway, so I guess we just take it. Number 2, or hate a Watercourser. That's a late Watercourser, too. I doubt I'm going to need multiple Oromancers. I'm going to hate the Watercourser, which is just the best card there. I guess I'll take a Battle Priest. Not likely to play. Wow. Take the Mist over the Gorger for sure. That is a nice late Enshrouding Mist for us. We're looking good. That pack wasn't as helpful as pack 1, but we're still looking good. We did get a Hydra, which is pretty much the highlight. Nothing else too crazy. I doubt we're playing Tactics. Prefer to not even play the Battle Priest. I think everything else in our deck looks reasonable enough, although Oromancer looks pretty sketchy. Alright, Heavy Infantry. Don't love it, but just in case we're short on playables, which I don't think we will be. We are playing 2 colorless lands. You do have to keep that in mind. That can come back to bite you if you're not careful, especially since we're running like Flare and stuff. So probably will not end up playing Tactics solely because of 2 colorless lands, and because most of the time it's not the best card. It's only okay. Okay. Geez, good red cards. Probably just take the Orchard Spirit. It's got the evasion. There's also Alchemist Vial, but we're still a little bit creature light, so I don't mind taking Orchard Spirit here. Mantle of Webs has good synergy with Blessed Spirits, and I guess Oromancer, but not good enough. Probably pretty easy table. This pack goes pretty deep, so let's just slam a Orchard Spirit and be happy with that. Ooh, I love a good Mage Ring Responder. There is also Suppression Bonds. I mean, Mage Ring Responder is certainly not an aggressive card, and Suppression Bonds has good synergy with Blessed Spirits, but Responder is pretty insane. It certainly takes games over. I'm playing 17 lands regardless, so I don't think it's a big deal if I run Responder. Like, I'm not going to run, basically what I was trying to say is I'm not going to run 16 lands, so I'm not really concerned about, I'm certainly not going to run 16 lands with Rogue's Passage and Foundry of the Councils, so let's just take Responder here. And then we have a really good late game plan. I mean, Suppression Bonds is, I could see an argument for Suppression Bonds just because it's pretty solid removal, but Responder is pretty nuts if you can resolve it. It tends to take games over pretty effectively. Still prefer to not play the infantry if at all possible. Other than that, still pretty happy with the deck. Oromancer still seems like the card I would like to cut. I wouldn't even mind cutting a Mighty Leap, but we'll see what cards we end up with. I mean, if I'm short on playables, I can make some of this work. All right, easy Valoron Wardens, which is actually just insane for our deck, since we have at least, I guess I was going to say insane because we have a bunch of Renown, but we actually only picked up the Renown out of the first pack and sort of didn't see as much here. It's still an easy Valoron Warden. Let's cut Oromancer. Screw it. Would prefer to not play that. So what are we? We're short 6 playables. In a pinch, I can play Heavy Infantry and Battlemaster, which I think are better than the other cards there. All right, we'll take the Sentinel, which I think I like slightly more than the Battle Priest. 4/4 body is a lot different than a 3/3 body, even with the life gain. And I guess that's an easy swap if I'm playing against something aggressive. There's Pilgrimage, but we don't have enough to ramp into besides the Responder. So let's just take the Sentinel here. I think that's fine. Ooh, that is really pretty. That is a pretty card to pick up here. Really strong card. Okay, Tactician number 2 versus Bonded Construct. We don't have a ton of early game plays, but Construct doesn't work so well with Anointer. I think we just pick up Tactician. That seems good with the Renown we've got. Slightly more exciting than Construct. And it looks like now I guess it's just pretty easy Servitor. We could take a Grasp. Well, I wouldn't take a Construct over a Servitor, but I actually just really like Servitor in this deck since we really don't have much early game at all, as a matter of fact, so seems like an important card to nab there. All right, I'll take Orchard Spirit. Still looking for more playables, so this seems good to me. I like Vial. It seems like a fine 23rd card. Gorger, I might consider. What's the weakest card in my deck right now? I don't really love Recluse so much in this deck. I wouldn't mind actually playing a Gorger over a Recluse, just because I just feel like getting another finisher seems just fine for this deck. And Recluse is pretty good defensively, but we look more offensive than defensive, despite having 2 6-drops and a 7-drop. All right, I think I'll hate a Fury here. Sure. Murder Investigation. So we only have 3 2-drop or less creatures, which is, I guess, a little bit worrisome, but I'm not alarmed by it or anything like that. I think we'll be fine. All right, Ascetic's a fine sideboard card. And I like the way our deck looks a lot. Our deck is pretty powerful looking. We've got a good late game plan. We have a good early game plan. I wish our early game plan included a few more 2-drop creatures. But our 3-drop creatures are not bad at all. Like Stalwart Haven and Castellan, Wardens, even Hydra are all just really good to get early. You know, I'm considering bringing Recluse back. Like, our late game plan is just so excellent with Rogue's Passage and Foundry of the Councils with our 6 and 7 drops that maybe I want to be a little bit more... like, I could see myself easily cutting a Vial, which is a good card, but maybe not so much for our deck. I mean, there are good cards that synergize well with Vial, like Castellan, Warden, you know, and then Freeblade, and I guess Aven, but Aven already evades, so that one's not as big a deal. But I don't want to cut Angel's Tomb, I don't think, and I don't mind running Recluse in this deck, actually, just because it blocks pretty well. And there's nothing else creature-wise I would like to run. Buys us some time to get established. I think we'll cut Vial for Recluse, actually, just because we're running Foundry and Rogue's Passage. So if we can, like a stalled board state, I feel like we've got some really good ways to push through, whether it be a Foundry to get some more tokens or Rogue's Passage to just, get a Gorger or a Responder through or something like that. So nice looking deck. Pretty good curve. Removal exists, but isn't fantastic. Swift Reckoning and Celestial Flare. I could see myself actually, maybe I cut Mighty Leap for Vial. Mighty Leap most of the time isn't amazing. You know what? I think I'm actually going to do that. I think I'd rather Cantrip on turn 2. I feel like Vial actually synergizes better with our Renown because you get to net a card off of it rather than Combat Trick. I guess there's an argument either way, but I kind of like the idea. I wasn't exactly keen on cutting Vial, so I don't mind swapping it for a Mighty Leap because I feel like they fill similar roles, and Vial netting you a card I think is actually slightly more valuable to me than a Mighty Leap would be. So yeah, I like this deck. We're removal light, but we're a good-looking beat deck with a good late-game plan, and we can push damage through late game pretty effectively. So, all right, I like this deck. I think it's good. Let's bring in the lands. We don't need too many green. 9-6. I mean, I don't even have a green play until turn 3. I don't mind 9-6, actually, because we actually have some double white. I could do 8-7, too, though. I kind of need, I need double white relatively early. And most of our powerhouse early creatures are, in fact, white. But 6 forest seems a little bit light. It seems a little bit light. If I didn't have 3 double white spells, I'd feel a lot more comfortable going 8 planes. But 3 double white makes it difficult. I mean, you don't exactly have to cast Flare on turn 3 or something, but you usually want to cast Tactician on turn 4 in a deck like this. I still think we might have to go 8-7 just because we've got some, it's tough. I mean, because look, we need the green for Castellon too. That's tough. I might just go 8-7. I mean, I guess all of my early game is white, though. All right, I changed my mind again. We're going to go 9-6. This could come back to bite us. I'm hoping, the thing is we only need 1 green, and we're good. So I'm hoping 6 is enough. So we could get punished for running 2 colorless lands, but we'll see. We'll see. I think this is a build. I like it. It's a cool-looking deck for sure. We got some powerhouse plays too, and like I said, good early, and it's not a super aggressive plan, I guess, but it can be, and we've got a great late game plan. So I like this deck. I'm gonna run it like this, and we'll see round 1.